What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of that hot new podcast, PandaWatch. As always, I'm Steven Zebrak with...
Gosh damn it. They should already know it, Steven. It's your boy, Kev Ma.
Yeah, no, I get that, but as we strive for new listeners...
No, even them. They should know. My name rings bells. Bells.
Bells?
It rings bells.
Hey, your name rings Taco Bells. That's what your name rings.
Oh, my gosh. Who's writing your jokes these days?
Yeah, I don't know. He's taking a vacation. All right, guys. We got a full slate of topics for you tonight, so let's just hop into it.
Wait, no. What'd you do this weekend?
Oh, this weekend. Oh, yeah. We both had weddings this weekend, right? Yeah. The wedding I went to was a good college brother, fraternity brother, young Jason Holman.
J-Hole!
Yep. Got married down at Old Hickory Golf Club in Woodbridge.
I love that course.
Yeah. It was a fun wedding. We had a good time. Good time. What about you? Who got hitched?
I made it down to Myrtle Beach, and he wasn't my fraternity brother because we didn't go to the same school, and I wasn't in a fraternity. But the homie, PandaWatch alumni, got married, Mr. Jeremy Capanos, to a one Allison. I don't know her last name, but now she's Mrs. Capanos.
Ignals, right, or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, Alec, Cat. You know you're my homie. But yeah. Good time, Myrtle Beach. I don't know about your wedding, but it was kind of like a blur the whole time.
Right. I mean, I remember most of our wedding. We ended up at Hooters because that was like the only place in Woodbridge open. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You could have gone to Queen's Gambit. For people out there listening in like not Virginia, don't go to Queen's Gambit.
Yeah, we just went to Hooters because it was a walk from the hotel. That's all it was. So,
yeah, but we had good weddings. Good weddings. Congrats. Love is beautiful.
I have to ask though before we move on. Any good Langley stories?
None that we could tell on the podcast.
Okay.
Remember, he's got to come on the podcast to speak for himself.
That's a good point.
That will be the world's introduction to Jamie. Because like my name rings bells, his is like a 4-alarm fire. See what I did there?
Yeah, I got you. So Jamie's a fireman.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
In case you didn't know. All right, moving on to the topics of the week. We're going to start with the NBA playoffs. We're now in round number 2. We had a few game 7s, including Kev Ma's own Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, and those guys,
yeah.
They found a way to just quit like they always do because Paul George is as amazing as a basketball player as Paul George is. I don't think he has, I hope I'm wrong, that killer instinct where we have to turn it on right now. He's always been, how do you say it, laissez-faire when he goes about his business. Now, you have to give him credit because even though he does play at like a different tempo and it seems like it's just nonchalant, he'll still give you 29, 8, and 6. And it's kind of like, well, Paul, we need you to do that before there's 2 minutes left in the game.
Right.
And, I mean, there were some questionable calls in that game, by the way.
Yeah, I was kind of watching the end of it, but
yeah. I mean, the Pacers did a good job of cutting down the 15-point lead in the second half to 5 with about 4 minutes to play. And then the game started to go back and forth. But one call that went uncalled during the game, but then the NBA, with their new transparency rules, told everybody in the world what we already knew, that the lob pass that was thrown to Ian Mahinmi by, I believe, Paul George or George Hill should have been called as a foul because DeMar DeRozan just pushed him in the back with his forearm.
Oh, and right. I know exactly what you're talking about.
And that was like a really big turnover right there. That was potential to be taken down to a 1-possession game, and then all of a sudden, ball game over.
Yeah, that was a tough loss for them.
Yeah.
A few reports that they're not extending Vogel. I mean, what do you think of that?
I love Vogel. He's got a winning record. I mean, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals and semifinals every year that, besides this year, that Paul George has been healthy.
Right.
But you can tell that they need another voice. I like Vogel as a coach. It's just that we have to get somebody who can wake up Paul George, because unless he's going to do it himself, somebody has to. The team goes as Paul George goes, and nobody else on that team is that good to just do whatever they want. Not Monte Ellis, not definitely not George Hill. So yeah, I think it's just time for a new voice.
All right, fair enough. Another game 7 was the Heat and Hornets. And Dwayne Wade, I mean, they just crushed them because Dwayne Wade hit some great shots in game 6. And then they just went out on and just demolished them in game 7.
Yeah, that game 7 was kind of underwhelming.
Yeah. So moving on to the second round.
Yeah, let's get to the second round. Let's get to the people who are still playing.
Yeah, no. A big story. I just wanted to cover the first round. Big story. The Spurs Thunder, the end of game 2 was last night. Kind of crazy. There was about 8 missed calls on that final play. And I think the NBA came out and said, yeah, they definitely missed 5 of them.
Yeah, but I get it. Transparency is what we want in this world, in this country. It doesn't help anybody. But you can't miss, like there were some calls, like they were saying that like a fan grabbed Steven Adams.
Right.
Which is kind of like, what are you doing, security? Another one where they said Kawhi Leonard's like grabbing people. Like those are calls that human beings are going to miss. The main call that we are all watching is the inbounder, Dion Waiters. Why Billy Donovan trusted him to be the one to take the ball out, we will never know. And it's probably a foregone conclusion that he'll never take the ball out in a situation where they need.
I would really hope not. Yeah.
If you really need to get the ball in bounds, Dion Waiters is not your guy. He can score it. He can't pass it.
He just can't serve it.
Oh, sorry, guys. I thought we were going to get through this podcast without Steven saying anything stupid, but silly me. Yeah. But no, the play was essentially there was 13.2 seconds left in the game. Manu Ginobili's guarding the inbounds play because they're down by one. And so it's a big play. So we're playing all hands on deck defense. Dion Waiters, you only get 5 seconds to throw the ball in if we're not privy to the rules of basketball. And in a panic, Dion Waiters gets to the eternal clock in his head, and he's like, oh, shit, that's got to be 5. So what does he do? He leans over and elbows Manu Ginobili, which is illegal because you're not allowed to break the plane, whether you're the offensive player or the defensive player, and just throws the ball directly in the air to Kevin Durant. And again, once you break the plane with the ball in hand, it's supposed to be a dead ball, violation, or foul. And, I mean, the way I've grew up playing basketball, it's always been if you break the plane, it's a warning. If you break the plane again, it's a technical foul. If you make contact, it goes straight to a technical foul. So the Spurs should have been shooting one free throw and receive the ball with a chance to, I guess, win it or at least draw up a play.
Right. But then some people will claim that Ginobili crossed the plane first himself. And there was like a photo or, a still of his foot over the line when he was guarding Waiters.
Perfect. Right. So right there, call something, Mr. Referee.
Right.
But instead, these referees, even though they're human, they pretty much go through the motions as this guy was. He was staring. I don't know what he was looking at, but you could see him giving the count, saying, okay, you're almost at 5. Then you see the elbow. He doesn't call anything. Obviously, people saw Ginobili step over the line. He doesn't call anything. What are you looking at, Mr. Referee?
Right. Something needs to be called. Like and the fact that Waiters left his feet to throw the pass.
Which, I mean, he can't move, but it's not a travel if I throw the ball after I make the pass. Or before I come down. I can jump in the air. I can move. I can't move off the spot, but I can jump to make a pass.
I didn't think you were allowed to jump.
It's not a violation. I mean, I saw people saying that it's a violation, but it's a violation if you move. It's kind of like you can make a jump pass. You can't establish a pivot foot and then move the pivot foot.
Right. I see what you're saying.
So, again, that could be a new rule. It could be the NBA has their own set of rules. Once you can only move on an inbounds play underneath the rim after a made basket.
Right. That's the only time.
Only time. Other than that, you have to stand still. But you can pivot, you can angle, you can maneuver to get around the defender. You just can't run 2 steps to the left or 2 steps to the right. So, all in all, it was like not a good day for the referees.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean that was just it was a bad ending for them. So, do you think those guys will keep reffing in the playoffs?
Well, they'll get reprimanded, but they will ref another game. They'll just send them to the shitty series that they don't care. They'll probably send them to Toronto.
Yeah.
But another big part for people who were not watching was Chris Webber going bonkers over the fact that there was nothing called at all. He was besides himself, saying, "If I was a San Antonio Spur, I would be going nuts right now," as he was. But the machine, or as Shaquille O'Neal likes to call him, the system that is the San Antonio Spurs, they're like business as usual, man. We didn't make enough plays to win the game. It should have never came down to this. And we just got to get to the next play. But Chris Webber was kind of like, F that. I want something right now.
Right. I mean, it's tough because, you want to put it behind you and focus, but at the same time, it's just like, what the fuck just happened to us?
It was really egregious.
Yeah.
But with that said, OKC, I mean, they got out to a fast start, which is what they did not do in game 1. Russell Westbrook, I believe, had 14 points. Kevin Durant was right there with 10. They got the others involved, and they kept the Spurs. I mean, they were up by 11 at one point, and then obviously because the NBA, everybody makes a run, the Spurs came roaring back.
Right.
But kudos to the Spurs. I mean, to the
Thunder. So who do you think's winning that series now that it's 1-1?
It depends. If OKC can get out to good starts like this, I mean, they've got a chance. But the Spurs are going to stay the course. They don't panic. They don't get up. They don't get down. They just do what they're supposed to do.
Right.
So it's all depending on OKC's start. If OKC's behind the 8 ball, they don't have a chance. I mean, Tony Parker had like 7 points last night, and they lost by 1 point.
Yeah, and the Spurs started that game like 2 for 15 or something from the field.
Exactly.
It was something ridiculous, and they still closed it out to like they were only down like 8 points at the end of the first quarter, and then they like tied it like 3 minutes into the second quarter. So like they just erased a horrific start in no time. But
yeah,
it should be interesting to watch. That'll probably be the best series right now.
Who do you get?
I think the Spurs will still win. I think they'll win in 6.
All right. And the other series or the other Western Conference series?
Yeah, the Warriors against the Trailblazers. The Trailblazers, which are just overachieving at a level that is just unreal right now.
Terry Stotts, Dame Dollar.
Yeah, he's been an unbelievable coach this year, and Lillard's been playing really well, and they've all been. I mean, they lost LaMarcus Aldridge, who's been killing it for the Spurs, and they're still in the second round of the playoffs, which is unreal.
Yeah, they lost a lot. They lost Nicholas Batum. They lost Wesley Matthews.
Yeah.
So they are, like you said, overachieving.
So I mean, do you think the Warriors will try to rush back Steph Curry? I mean, they won game 1 pretty handily without him.
It looks like he's lobbying to play. I just don't understand why you want to do that. Like, Steph Curry, you have taken the world by storm because you're like the best basketball player out there. And you make a lot of cuts on your ankles that you've had issues with and on now your knee. So I get it. You don't want to sit and watch. Nobody wants to sit on the bench and watch basketball if you're on the team. But you've got to look at the long-term like ramifications here. If you come back and your knee is not 100% and you injure yourself potentially further where you have to miss some time, that not only hurts you, but it's going to hurt your team that they don't need you, but you make everything go.
Right, and they're definitely going to need him against the Spurs or the Thunder. So why he would rush back against the Trailblazers team that they should be able to beat without him is beyond me. But then again, that I'm not Steph Curry. I'm not reigning MVP.
Now, but here's the question, though. Now you're Steve Kerr, and now you're upper management and the owner. This is a cash cow, okay? Let's not get it twisted. Stephen Curry on the court is must-see TV. And with must-see TV, it turns into must-see revenue dollars.
Right, but I think you're already going to sell out, and you're already going to get those people watching your games. If you're Kerr, then it's an easy decision. You say no. I mean, if you're upper management and you're like that thick-headed, then maybe you like, oh well, an extra like $5, like I'll have to get it. But I don't see.
Man. These owners want every dollar.
I know, but a back-to-back championship is a lot more marketable than Western Conference Finals exit because we lost our superstar.
I mean, I'm in agreement with you there.
Yeah. So I mean, I just think, especially if they win, are they playing tonight or tomorrow night?
They will be playing tonight after this Toronto Raptors Miami Heat game.
Okay, cool. So I might tune in to watch that, but if they lose tonight, then I can see some like panic and like, okay, we got to bring him back. If they win tonight, he shouldn't come back until at least game 4, and then maybe you'd have him play like half the time just so he gets some run and get some game experience. Not that he needs it, but just to shake off any rust that he could potentially have.
Yeah, well, I mean, the initial prognosis was 2 to 3 weeks, so. I mean, he could be doing behind the scenes. Obviously, he's doing behind the scenes strength and conditioning and rehab. But game reps you can't put anything. You can't put a price on that. Like you can't simulate that. So,
right. That's what I'm saying. If they win game 2, then I would say hold him off till game 4 at least. But
I mean. He's not playing. If I'm the owner, if I'm the coach, he's not even getting in the game. He's not playing until next series. We lost 9 games the whole year.
9 times. Yep.
9 times. Yeah. So, I mean, unless you guys are saying that we can't win without Steph, which they're proving everybody wrong, then I don't understand.
I agree with you. I'm saying the only reason I was saying to get him back in is just get him a little bit of run time, but he probably doesn't even need that. So I'm talking out of my ass.
Yeah. You don't need it. And Steven, you keep forgetting, man. He's fragile, because he's skinny, but no. But
I know what B is.
You know what the fuck B is. He's light skinned, man. The kid ain't got it in him. Like you can't just think that he's gonna be like the strongest guy out there. He's not. It's not in his blood.
In case you guys missed what Kevin was saying because I was laughing so much, B was he's light-skinned. So
come on, man. I'm trying to help you out. And you light-skinned. I don't even do that. It's against my religion.
All right. We're going to switch gears from the NBA to the NFL. The NFL draft was this past Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yes, we just talked about the NBA without saying LeBron James's name.
Come on, man. We almost did it.
We almost did it. I'm just saying, like, the writing's on the wall, Bron. If you lose another championship, you're about to be just a regular. I mean, obviously, you're fairly decent, but anyway.
Yeah, anyways, moving to the NFL, the draft was this past weekend. So obviously, a bunch of people, instead of watching the NBA playoffs or NHL playoffs, would just sit there and watch a freaking screen scroll by and say, "Oh, they selected this." But
And then
but
and then boo.
and then boo. And most of the years it would be like that, but this year was the exception to the rule.
No.
We
Oh,
we had
bring me up to speed, Stephen. I was at a wedding all weekend. I don't know what happened.
Oh, this was crazy stuff. I didn't know what happened until I woke up Thursday because I was at the bachelor party Thursday night. Friday. I was at the bachelor party Thursday night. I wake up Friday and I turn on Sports Center because I have the day off, and it's just filled with Larry Tunsil stories. And if you're unfamiliar, Larry Tunsil was a very high draft rated prospect out of Ole Miss, offensive lineman. It was like a can't miss guy. He would have been like rated third, fourth, or fifth behind Wentz and Goff, who will probably suck in the NFL. Let's be honest. So he was one of the highest rated players. 15 minutes before the draft, his Instagram or Twitter account shows a video of a guy smoking out of a bong in a gas mask, and then taking off the gas mask, and it's Larry Tunsil. So that's the first thing that comes. He's got a video of himself smoking weed on his own Instagram or Twitter page right before the draft.
Doesn't sound like the most prudent thing to do.
Right. So that shows up, right? And everyone's freaking out about that. Then later on, a text conversation between him and Ole Miss coach Hugh Freeze starts. They start seeing screenshots of that on Instagram, and pretty much what the screenshots allude to is Larry Tunsil asking Hugh Freeze to help cover not only his rent, which was like $350 or something like that, but help cover his mother's light bill. Now, and unless I'm mistaken, also the whole background too. Larry Tunsil's involved in a suit. His stepfather is suing him over a domestic violence issue from a couple of years ago. Apparently, he beat the crap out of his stepfather, and his stepfather's trying to sue him. So
yeah, but then you got to dig a little bit deeper into that because apparently Laramie Tunsil was and the man's name is Laramie, by the way.
Oh, my fault.
I've been calling him Larry. The man, no damn Three Stooges. He was protecting his mother. Like the stepfather was like physically abusive, and Laramie was coming to the aid. And I guess
right. No, I should mention
when you happen to be a 6'6" or whatever he is offensive lineman, things can get pretty messy for the other person.
Right. So yeah, I should have mentioned that nobody is on the side of the stepfather in this lawsuit on the public side yeah. So a lot of people were originally assuming that it was his stepfather that was behind like the hacking of his Instagram account and posting those conversations of videos until people thought about it for a second and said, oh, if the stepfather's suing him, wouldn't he want Laramie to have as much money as possible? So
good point.
hurting his draft stock wouldn't really do much good. So we really have no idea who's done it yet. But I mean, crazy stuff. This was all happening. He probably slid from like fourth or fifth. He went all the way down to 13. And the Dolphins ended up picking him up at 13. And then their comments came in. It's like, well, if this kid is making bad life choices, Miami's probably not the best spot for him. But
yeah.
Hey,
but with that said, let's go back to let's recap what you just talked about. The kid was a student athlete at a university, and he asked his head coach for upwards of $600, $700. I don't know how much the light bill was. I know the rent was $350.
I know it wasn't more than $1,000 total. It couldn't have been.
Right. So another strike for the NCAA because you guys make billions of dollars, and these guys can't even pay. Their families can't pay light bills. So if we're humans are going to be sink or swim, flight or fright, I'm saving my own ass. So I'm like, hey, coach, I know you get millions of dollars. Can you spare $700? Yes, I know it's illegal. I don't care because
Right.
I can't see. So there's
Right.
that.
Yeah. And it should be noted that Hugh Freeze is the highest paid state employee of Mississippi. So in all of Mississippi,
The state of Mississippi.
Hugh Freeze is the highest paid state employee.
Tell him about the gun line, boss.
Yeah, I should also mention a big uproar of all this too is Laramie admitted to taking money from Hugh Freeze. There was a press conference after this whole debacle in the draft, and the reporters are interviewing him. And they're asking about the screenshots, and at first he tries to blow them off, and then the reporter keeps asking, and he goes, would you say that by those screenshots that you took money from your coach? And he was like, yeah, I guess it would look that way. And he just said yes. And like that, to me, that is like I mean, people smoke weed,
What?
we know college players get money.
People smoke weed.
People smoke weed. We know college players get money from outside sources, but they've never admitted to just getting money from outside sources, let alone their head coach.
Yeah,
I mean,
but by this time, he's not an NCAA student anymore, right?
He doesn't give a fuck.
He's a professional athlete, so he's like, yeah, I took the money. Tough break, Ole Miss. Take all these sanctions that y'all about to get, because y'all motherfuckers couldn't give me $600.
So we got Ole Miss probably spearheaded by our friend Charles France. All the fans going nuts that he ratted them out, apparently.
Well, hey, lesson learned, I guess. But I think the biggest thing is like, how miserable of a human being do you have to be to like hack and do this on the day of? Like, do it 2 days before. Like, you clearly were like, yeah, I'm gonna get this motherfucker. I'm sending it out right now. And you did it. And you cost the kid $8 million in some estimations. Some people are like, $8 million gone.
Right. A kid who clearly, if you saw all the text, clearly needed the money. I mean, obviously he'll still have enough to support his mother and his family. That's, he'll still have plenty of that. But if anyone needed the money, it wasn't, Wentz or Goff or, some of those guys who went higher. But not to say that those guys don't deserve their own money, but
correct. But then another interesting story about this. We didn't talk about who the first and second round or first overall pick was, because we don't care, or the second overall pick, again, because we don't care, because we only care about the human beings who are doing stuff that we don't agree with in this society. It's like, oh, that kid is smoking weed and he was taking impermissible benefits. Let's focus on that. And Roger Goodell, true to form, he goes on Mike and Mike and he says, that's what makes the NFL draft exciting, when a human being can be exploited to the point where they lose $8 million.
What should make the draft exciting are last minute trades where you jump another team and steal their player. And that certainly happened. That happened a few times. That the Bears and the Buccaneers did that. They leapfrogged the Giants to get a pass rusher, and then later in the draft, the Broncos leapfrogged or made a trade that the Cowboys were trying to make, and they got Paxton Lynch. So that happened. That happened a few times on Thursday night. Like that's what the drama you should want as like an NFL exec. But no, because Roger Goodell is so screwed in the head.
Yep.
His idea of a great NFL draft is this young kid just getting absolutely screwed over.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, the NFL teams, sometimes they take risks. Sometimes the risks play out, and sometimes they get bit in the tail. It's kind of like commissioner, guy who's the figurehead, because we all know you answer to the owners. The guy whose whole week in Chicago was centered around family is essentially being like, hey, kid who was a victim, sorry, man, but your life was just exciting for me to watch. And now I'm just going to use you. And that's why the NFLPA president, Eric Winston, came out and was like, we don't like Roger anyway, but it was kind of like, well, Roger, dude, where's your sense of like sympathy for the kid? Yeah, decency, sympathy for a kid being a victim. Like, this is illegal. Like, they are going to find whoever did this and prosecute them, hopefully to the furthest extent to the law, man.
Yeah, I hope so too. And I'll be rooting for him. That's for sure.
Hey, man, Laramie's okay with me. Right. Laramie said I went to Ole Miss. Not only did I have no money, but they had him smoking weed in a house with the Confederate flag behind him.
Right. I was going to mention that to you when we were all sitting down and see what you thought of that.
It's like, come on, yo. The kid clearly had a tough time. Look out for him.
Right. So, yeah, I hope he does well, and I hope everything – I mean, I just hope – he doesn't need to be like the richest player ever, but I just hope he does well in his career and makes enough money to support his family, because clearly they needed the money. And
amen.
So you're a fan of the you got a fan in the PandaWatch, Laramie.
Yeah,
so. We're
actually going to send you a Facebook invite to like it.
Yeah, let's try to get him on the show too.
We can do that. Laramie would probably be like, "Hey guys, I can't do any talking for the next 5 years."
Yeah, my agent said, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah.
So your next contract.
Exactly. You ain't gonna be doing no more talking.
Yeah. But yeah, but it's funny. We're so up in arms about, not we, but society is so up in arms about him smoking weed and taking money. Yet another story about a college football player and a son of an NFL legend, and I'm doing air quotes.
He is a legend.
He's a legend, but I hate him. But anyways, he's.
I don't hate you, Ray. So chill out.
Son of NFL legend / skirter of felonious crimes, Ray Lewis III is his son, is being charged and indicted with 2 counts of sexual assault and battery. And yep, as they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So that's all I got to say about that.
That's all you got.
That's all I got. Ray Lewis's son is being indicted on 2 counts of sexual assault.
We don't like to make light of anything that is a violation of human rights, whether you're male or female. But I mean, why are we still human beings, males, sexually assaulting women? We have to stop, guys. We can't keep doing this. You're a football player. You're not a professional. You're a football player, man. We already know how we look at sports in this society. You're a god, yo. Just chill out. The girl, the reports say she was incapacitated from alcohol and who knows what, and then you felt it was the time to be like, hey, let me get some mushu, which is kind of no, and no one more time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a football player and you're the son of a Hall of Famer or soon-to-be Hall of Famer, and 2-time Super Bowl winner, you can get enough ass on your own. You're a college football player. You're rich.
At Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
At the beach, and you're rich. I was just in South Carolina. I may or may not have seen a strip club down there. So, my brother, you would have been all right. That's just stupidity.
Right.
And now you in jail. But he got cash, but he's black, so I don't know how this is gonna play out.
Yeah.
He got enough money to cover the order. However, it don't really work out for us too often. What are you laughing for, cracker?
The studio was laughing. Producers.
Sorry for the offensive words, Steven.
That's all right. I forgive you.
Thanks, brother.
Well, anyways, forgive me for talking about my favorite sport. Baseball. I promise to keep this short and sweet. After I was extremely frustrated, the Nationals got swept by the Phillies at home. They went out and swept the Cardinals on the road, which is great, great, great baseball. I mean, beating the team like St. Louis at their home, that was awesome. So the
Yeah.
Nationals, and they followed it up by winning the first game of the Kansas City Royals series last night. So they've won their last 4 against 2 really good teams on the road, and they're winning right now tonight. Obviously, this will be posted. The score will be final, but they're winning as of now, and they have the chance to win the series in Kansas City and sweep that series as well tomorrow. But the big one is this weekend they have a 4-game set against the Cubs. And the Cubs right now, they're battling the Cubs for best record in baseball. And the Cubs are really good. They got this guy, Jake Arrieta, who is super good.
Yeah.
And they got a lot of guys who can mash.
He deals. So, and the biggest thing that sometimes goes overlooked in baseball, apparently, like when you play baseball, you need direction as opposed to like being able to just swing for yourself and throw the ball by yourself. So having a manager that you like and who's respected and knows what he's doing, it looks like it plays a big role. Like, and my man Joe Madden, he's got the magic touch.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah, nobody. Even in Tampa Bay, like people were just lauding Joe Madden for how good he managed as a ball club, and he's certainly done a great thing with the Cubs. I mean, he's handling that young talent so well, and he's getting the most out of his guys. And you can almost say the same right now for Dusty Baker too, who's doing a great job. A lot of people weren't thrilled with the hiring because he's not a big sabermetrics guy. So a lot of people are like, well, what the hell are we hiring an old time like thinker like that? But Dusty knows how to manage superstar talent, and he knows what he's doing. He knows how to get his guys to play their best baseball. And, Harper was extremely hot in April. He won NL Player of the Month. And Murphy has been hitting the ball really well. But recently in that St. Louis series, Harper was like 0 for 11 with 2 walks. And they still swept the series because everyone else started picking him up. So, if that whole lineup gets going, they could win the East and then possibly face the Cubs in the championship series.
Nice. Did anybody else play baseball? Like, what else is going on in Major League Baseball?
No, some other people played baseball. Arrieta threw a no-hitter last week or something. I don't know.
We talked about that. But I mean, like, what about my man Mike Trout? How's he playing? I haven't heard anything about him.
He's not off to the best start, but guys like him, 1 month is, obviously it's a 6th of the season, and it's a good chunk of time, but it's not the end of the world. A lot of guys have slow Aprils. April's a very pitcher heavy month anyways. But when weather starts getting warmer, the ball starts flying more, we'll see what happens. He'll be fine.
You know who's not allowed to have an off year or month or anything like that? The New York Yankees.
Yeah.
And I read an article that my man Brian Cashman was saying he's sick of losing. And I mean, he's saying it's early in the season, but he doesn't want to panic. But there may or may not be some possible moves out of the gates. And it's kind of like, yo, you guys play 162 games. Do they still have the biggest payroll in baseball?
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but the Dodgers have made a recent run at that title.
Right. So let's just say they're top 2. I mean, your talent on the team is not producing as of yet. However, like, you're just going to go blow the bank on somebody who may or may not produce as well. I just think it's funny that my man Cashman is in super panic mode.
Right, and also last year, he has to realize that Yankees team, then again, it was only the wild card round. They made the playoffs. They overachieved so much last year, and they made the playoffs. They lost to the Astros in the 1-game playoff, but this team is not very good.
And 5-11.
Yeah, and they went to the playoffs last year. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Meanwhile,
we'll get into how other teams play, as the season progresses.
A little NBA update for you guys to wake up tomorrow morning. Miami Heat are up 86-81, 40.6 seconds on the clock, and Goran Dragic is going bonkers. He is carrying the Heat by himself. He's probably got – I'm waiting for him to show how many points he's got, but he's got a lot of them.
That's a good analysis, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you, man. See, that's why we need producers, man. Where is young E $ when you need him, man?
Yeah, why aren't you inviting him over so all I can do is just do research?
Because Eric is a busy man. He's got to do his he's got art to do, man. We can't just keep him here hostage. We're not paying nobody yet. When we start paying him, then we can be like, hey, man, where the hell you been at?
Yeah.
So shout out to the $. What up?
All right. Speaking of $,
Ooh, this is my favorite story that we're gonna do.
There is a lot of British men, and I'm assuming women, who are cashing in big this week. If you haven't heard, Leicester City, a very
You sure you pronounced that right? Yeah.
Yeah, Leicester City. We man, you and I both listened to the thing.
I heard her. It sounded like she said Lancaster though.
It was not Lancaster. Kevin Ma trolling yet again.
No. I love everybody.
ELE. So anyways, Leicester City won. They secured first place in the Barclays Premier League.
Premier League.
If you guys are unfamiliar, Barclays Premier League is England's top soccer league.
It's their version of America's Top Model or The Voice or what's that other one that was on TV? On Fox. American Idol. There we go.
Yeah. So you think you can dance, all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, they started the season at 5,000 to 1 odds on winning the Premier League. 5,000 to 1. That means if you put $100 on them, just for fun, you're a lifelong fan, you do it every year, you put money on them to win, you came out with $500,000 for just $100 bet.
For $100.
Even if you just put $10 down, you still get $50,000.
I mean, those odds are kind of like, those are the odds that you kind of play when you're at the casino that you're like, man, this shit ain't gonna hit. Let me just you're drunk by that time, or you're not in your right frame of mind. So you're just like, you know what? Let me just play this. And it's kind of like, wow, whoops. This thing hit.
Yeah, the Nationals, I remember we went in 2012, the Nationals were 18 to 1 favorites to win the World Series or something, and I just threw like $20 down. And those are long shots, and they ended up doing so well, they made the playoffs. I was like, damn, I was about to hit like $360. And that would have made me happy.
Yeah.
But these dudes are raking in, 100 times that amount or 10 times that amount,
Dude, And then on top of those odds, the other odds that they overcame was apparently in the Premier League, only the top 4 teams usually win it. You've got Arsenal, you got Manchester United, you got Manchester City, and Chelsea.
With Liverpool every now and then in there. And Tottenham's been pretty good lately. But you're right, it's a very top heavy league. And a lot of these teams are fighting for middle of the pack and just trying to stay in that league instead of getting relegated.
Yeah.
But they went out and they got a lot of young players, they stocked up, and they won the whole fucking thing. I mean, this is like, maybe not the Browns winning it all, but this is like, some team coming from obscurity like the Buccaneers or, some team that's stockpiled on draft picks and then all of a sudden just made the push.
Stop it. You know who it's like. We will not say their name on air. However, it's like that team from DC winning another Super Bowl.
No, because that team from DC just like gets free agents. This team actually like built through the draft.
Okay.
They built through their minor league or, youth programs is what they call it.
I was looking forward to it, like looking at it like this team in DC will never win another one while we're alive. So it's kind of like I bet you that's how people in Leicester City were feeling.
Right. Anyways, we just wanted to shout that out and, say that was incredible odds of winning.
And we also wanted to stretch out our viewership because soccer is the global sport. So we just want y'all to know that we take care of everything here at PandaWatch. We do it for y'all.
Make sure you guys keep listening, and in about another 2 months, we'll mention soccer again.
Oh yeah, Olympics.
Yeah.
But yeah, how about? Did you see the windfall that they got from this win? Forbes is saying, and other outlets are saying, this win could be this year alone $100 million windfall. On top of the endorsements that they can potentially pick up. And then if they can carry the momentum over, and they don't even have to win it next year, but if they can carry the momentum and be in the top 5, 6 and not be relegated, then who knows how much money they can get.
Right. Exactly. And that's a big point too. And they'll all of next year, they'll be in the Champions League. So they got that going for them too.
Mm.
They'll get some more shine time, some more viewers, and some more exposure.
This will be interesting because it's human nature to be like, man, that team won. They're my favorite team now. Do we see we're obviously going to see an uptick in people rooting for Leicester City now.
Yeah, naturally that would happen. So it'll be interesting though.
But across the pond, man, they don't play that stuff, yo. Like they be fighting. If you like if you don't like my team, we don't disagree. We don't have arguments. Like we fight. We almost murder people. We do murder people.
Oh yeah, they certainly do.
So
not all of them.
Not everybody. So yeah. Well, congrats, guys.
Yeah.
I wish I saw y'all play.
Yep. That was crazy.
Where are we going next?
We're going next. We got some dumb dummies coming up. Dumb dummies doing dumb stuff.
Gosh, I can't wait. We got to get Steve to make the promo for Dumb Dummies.
Yeah, we need to get on that too.
That'd be good.
So Frenchie, hook us up with some dumb dummies. Anyways, the first one we got just last week, we talked about a San Francisco police officer getting, fired, let go for sending some of the most racist text or ever in a group text message.
That cop you call Rin Tin Tin, I call her racist.
So what do we have now? You just move about 3 hours south, 500 miles south to LA. And you got the second in command in the Burbank sheriff's department getting fired for forwarding the most racist and sexist emails. The stuff that your old relatives would send and think is funny, haha.
Well, speak for yourself, brother. And I know your family, and I don't think your old relatives are sending those kind of emails.
Right. I'm not saying my family. I'm saying in general, there are some jokes that what are the what are component he's I was taking a biology exam and they're what are the two components of a cell? He said blacks and Mexicans. That's
so my man's name is Tom Angel, so we got to give him some credit, and we have to shout him out.
Right.
And after one of those, you just gave one example of his joke, but obviously after he got caught, because these text messages or texts and emails were from 2012, 2013, but that there's still open record laws in every state. So investigative reporters and people like that are digging to get the information. So we get this news that this guy was reprimanded for this. And then it was finally, they called for his head after they read what he wrote. And his apology was, anybody in the workplace, unfortunately, forwards emails from time to time. If these emails offended anybody, I apologize because they weren't meant to be seen. No shit, brother. No shit. So if they're not meant to be seen, why would you put it on an electronic to be, I mean, the internet, nothing goes away ever. We're going to see this.
The best thing he could have done is like when he gets those emails, just throw them in the trash and be like, yeah, like someone sent me that email, but I threw it away. Like, I put it in the trash folder. Like, I didn't even open it. Just threw it away.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Like, you dumb dummy. People are getting fired for this stuff. Like, literally, a dude in your state, like you just said, Steven, got fired.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they understand that FOIA requests exist and people can get that type of information if it's not classified.
But yeah, but peep how the rank and file it goes. My man, the sheriff, Mr. McDonald, Jim McDonald, he didn't take the resignation at first. He was kind of like,
right.
I didn't want to take the resignation, and then he probably felt the heat from people saying, fire him too, and he was kind of like, oh, you mean to tell me that I can get fired for what he did? Oh, sorry, brother. Time to go.
Well, it was nice knowing you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, but people, what you do, especially on work emails, people can see. So stop doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, PandaWatch is all about inclusivity. So we want everybody to be one big happy family. So we're just trying to educate everybody out there to not do dumb stuff.
And speaking of more dumb stuff,
we got another dumb dummy?
We got one more dumb dummy.
Gosh.
We got a high school senior football player, and their team photo was dared by teammates to show dong in the photo.
All right, stop right there. Steven, how long have I known you?
Since the second grade, so about 25 years.
I understand. You and I know we do really dumb stuff, and we like to have a good time and stuff like that. If you and I were about to take a picture wherever, and I was like, hey, Steven, pull your penis out, would you do it? Or would you be like, the hell's wrong with you?
For no less than 8 figures would I do it. But no, of course I wouldn't do it. Like,
yeah, I mean, like, yo, dude, I was 18 once, but if anybody, not anybody, if any dude was like, hey, man, pull your penis out, I'd be like,
I like how you changed it.
No means no, and get out of here.
So anyways, he pulled like, he had it like barely showing above his waistband or something, and it got into the yearbook. And
whoa!
Yeah.
Sorry. They just hit a shot from half court to tie the game. Miami and Toronto going to overtime.
That's
Kyle
crazy.
Lowry. Wow. And he threw it directly into the air. You'll see the highlights. Sorry, Panda people.
We gotta rip through these.
Yeah, keep going back to the dumb dummy in high school.
Yeah, he showed his penis, got in the yearbook. He got charged with, and here's the kicker, 69 counts of indecent.
You got 69?
69 counts of indecent exposure.
Yeah, somebody edited the story, man. I had 70 counts.
It was apparently it was 69 because that's how many people were in the picture. And then he got like a class 4 felony of like distribution of that material to minors because people like got the yearbook.
Yeah, the yearbook went to underage people, right?
Yeah, 15-year-olds and shit. So,
gosh, dummy, man. Like,
hopefully it doesn't ruin his life. But damn, dude.
Here's the secret. This football player in the what state is this? Arizona? Oklahoma. Arizona. Mesa Red Mountain High School. It's got to be Arizona, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's somewhere where the laws don't exist.
Don't do that, people. Please don't do it. If anybody asks you to pull out your genitalia, Ask them to take you to a private area and then do it, and make sure there's nothing that can be used to film or videotape or record. That way, you're almost in the clear. Obviously, there's going to be somebody who's going to snitch on you, but at least you don't go to jail for X amount of years for this. I mean, is this a finable offense or is this like jail time?
I think it could be jail. I highly doubt he gets jailed. And you were right; it's Arizona.
Thank you.
So, I mean, there's a felony charge in there. So, if that charge sticks and he avoids, don't you have to go to jail if it's a felony?
I don't know. Depends on how old or white you are.
Yeah. Either way, that felony charge sticks, he could never vote. So.
Yeah. Shit. And you need to vote in the state of Arizona.
Yeah. Otherwise, they're going to take your jobs.
+1 for Steven.
Took our jobs. So, yeah. Please, people, especially young people, although none of you are listening, but please, young people, if you ever happen to hear this, don't do that. Just don't.
Don't.
Anyways, now that we're done with our dumb dummies, we have just a regular dummy.
Don't you dare call him a dummy. You know better.
That's right. He's gonna come and yell at me.
Yeah.
Kevin, set us up.
I got you. All right, people. The piece de resistance last week on another radio show that is popular, The Breakfast Club, which is a radio show on a hip hop and I guess pop music station in New York, 105.1, Power 105.1. The Breakfast Club. Charlamagne the God, Angela Yee, and DJ Envy. They do a lot of interviews with, hip-hop artists or musical artists and sometimes political. Like they just had Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton on. This interview in particular was the only Birdman, the man who wears lugs, the man, that guy. The man who kisses Lil Wayne in the mouth, who was, because there's nothing wrong with that. Kiss him in the mouth. Y'all, they're not related, but they consider themselves family. So, hey, do what y'all do. I ain't here to pass judgment. Anyway, the Birdman came on there, which we thought was going to be like a lengthy interview because he's got like an album coming out and stuff like that. Turned in to be one of the greatest 3 minutes in radio history because the Birdman did not like the way the hosts of the show were talking about his name. And he wanted to make sure that all three of y'all stop playing with my name, all right? First and foremost, when you bring up the Birdman's name, you got to put some what on it, Steven?
You got to put some respect on it.
How do you spell respect?
RESPEK.
Yes, exactly.
Respect.
Put some respect on my name.
Yeah, next time you say my name, you put some respect on it.
So the background of it was essentially Charlamagne the God is an instigator. And the Birdman was not happy with the way Charlamagne was talking about an episode where the Birdman had been slighted by Trick Daddy and
Rick Ross.
Rick Ross.
Yeah.
And he didn't like that. So Charlamagne pretty much asked him, "Hey man, why you coming up to the radio guy, man? I'm just the radio guy. You ain't gotta be tough with me. I'm the radio guy." And the Birdman was like, "Shit, I'm pulling up on you, brother." And this is new slang to me, but I guess pull up means I'm here talking in your face. Like me and you can tussle. I ain't got any other issues with anybody else.
Also, he says oh yeah, there was another time I saw you. I could have pulled up on you then, real gangster like.
But I didn't think that was gangster.
Yeah, I would have been gangster if I pulled up on you then. And Charlamagne's like, what? Like
the Birdman. I mean, this all happened in the span of 2 to 3 minutes. People. He came in there. He came in there with 8-10 dudes, his whole entourage, because we roll deep when we gotta go somewhere.
Right.
And Yeah, none of them said a word, and it was all the Birdman just sitting down and just verbally accosting the people who were there to promote whatever he was selling. But it was the best thing that happened in the world last week.
Yeah,
And,
he's like,
and
I got nothing more to say about that. He put some respect on my name. He's are we finished or are we done?
are y'all finished or is y'all done? Is how
Yeah.
he ended. And then, and then, and then he didn't give him a chance to answer that question. So then he goes, "Man, I ain't got no more talking. Let's rock." And he gets up, and the 8 people, the 10 people that came with him, they all get up and bounce.
Yeah.
And the radio host was just sitting there like, "Well, what the hell just happened?"
They were laughing their asses off after
It was
we
great.
left.
It was great.
Yeah.
And now the Birdman has turned it into a marketing thing where he's selling T-shirts, he's making rap songs, he's just doing it all. And
He apparently, didn't he try to apologize or something? He tried to call them personally and apologize after it. That's what I saw.
if he did, I didn't read that story because I didn't want to ruin the moment. Like, obviously, you
Right.
should have apologized, Birdman, but no, I need you to be gangster. I need the story to play out like with you not caring one iota.
Right. Yeah. Why are you apologizing? Just, gangsters don't apologize like that,
Gangsters
right?
don't. They certainly never apologize, right?
Yeah, and then also too,
Gangsters get fat and then they move to Miami.
right? And it was great too because part of the Rick Ross thing was like when they were interviewing Rick Ross and he was like bashing on him. They're like, "So do you see him in Miami?" And Rick Ross was like, "He ain't in Miami right now. He ain't going. He's not in Miami."
Oh man, the biggest boss calling him out.
And then Charlamagne was like, "So you step into me? Have you stepped to Trick Daddy or Rick Ross like this?"
Nope.
Like basically calling him like,
yeah. He's like, "What you?" Yeah, but you could see how quick he responded to Charlamagne. He's like, "Nah, I'm pulling up on you."
Yeah.
Oh,
He's like,
man.
"I'm just the radio guy. Why you pulling up on me? You pull up on them? No."
If we were allowed to like tag the video or post the video with ours, it would be beautiful. Because
we might try to do that in a separate post, but yeah,
you guys need to see this.
It's great. It's highly entertaining.
Absolutely. It's almost as good as PandaWatch the podcast, but
right.
Nothing's that good. But this one was great. So, Birdman, my brother, shout out to your white lugs. We're gonna put some respect on your name, brother. Anytime you talk, anytime you want to be on the PandaWatch podcast, I got you.
Yep.
You can try to bring me a free pair of lugs. I will cuss you out. Because who the hell wears lugs?
Oh man. Whew.
You ready to take this home?
I'm ready to take it home.
Right.
We don't have any songs or movies for you this week. I'm a little busy.
We do have one song.
You do a song? Okay, my fault.
We do have a song. R.I.P. to Miss Afina Shakur, mother of Tupac Shakur, who passed away today at age 69.
Oh,
so it being Mother's Day weekend, Tupac's mother's passing, Tupac being the phenomenal rapper that he was, poet, artist, activist, all that good stuff. I think it's only fitting that at PandaWatch, we give y'all the song of Dear Mama.
Yep.
Go ahead and listen to that this week with it being Mother's Day and Miss Afina passing away. So, PandaWatch Podcast Song of the Week, Dear Mama by Tupac. R.I.P. Afina.
Certainly rest in peace. Which makes this next segment harder to get excited about, but
now you can get excited about it.
Well, both you and I have a big event on Saturday with a bunch of our friends. Gold Cup is coming up this weekend.
It is Derby season, people.
Yeah, it's Kentucky Derby too on Saturday.
Yeah.
But I'm more excited about Gold Cup.
Yeah, I mean, for the regulars like us who can't get to the Derby, we go to horse races in Virginia.
Yep.
Do you want to tell them about Gold Cup?
Anyways, if you haven't been to Gold Cup, it's very different from the races you would see on TV, like the Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes. It's not a dirt track. It's a grass infield, and people aren't in the infield like they are for those other big horse races. Everyone's along the outside of the track, and it's a lot of like I guess steeple races, but I don't know if that's the right classification. There's some jumps to it too. The field's a little bit different. It's not a circular track. It's very different, but it's a lot of fun. It's an all-day tailgate, and we have a good time. We have a great time usually. You and I mean, I know I missed 1 year, but you and I have been going every year since like 2009. I think.
Yeah, it's a great time.
I missed 2014 when I first moved up to New York, but every other year I've been there.
I'm really excited about Gold Cup because Gold Cup is the official start of ankle exposure season, man.
Oh, yes, that is true.
People, if you don't know about it, just know that ankle exposure is not just a way of dress, it is a lifestyle.
And be on the lookout because your co-host will be taking a lot of pictures and trying to post them up on the internets.
Yes.
To show you how much fun we're having.
We're going to have a great time. So if you can make it out, if you're listening and you're anywhere near Virginia Gold Cup, I suggest you get a ticket, get a designated driver because you will be inebriated. I got one. He's my co-host.
Yep.
Yeah, Gold Cup 2016. Whoop, whoop.
Also, if you plan on meeting up with us, make sure you text Kevin early because in the afternoon, it's definitely possible his phone ends up in the porta potty.
Yes. And for those who don't know, one time last year, I went to the restroom and I don't know why I had everything in my hand, but I went to the restroom and, things get a little hairy in the bathroom. And
I got a dookie phone.
Yeah, I got a dookie phone. Got a little frazzled, and that thing landed directly. It didn't even hit any of the sides of the porta-john. Give me a chance to be like, whoop, 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 catch it. It just went right like a Steph Curry jump shot. Didn't even hit the rim. It was a sad, sad day. And I almost reached in there, but I was like, what is wrong with you, you dummy? I almost was a dumb dummy right there. Which would have been fucking terrible.
Well, anyways, we'll leave you on that note, people. Keep following us on Facebook. We promise we're making strides on the other stuff, but Facebook's our main jam.
I was supposed to be doing all that stuff, and I lied to y'all, man. That's not how I get down. So
no, you didn't lie. You didn't lie. You had good intentions.
You're right. You're right.
Well, anyways, keep following us on Facebook. Keep looking out for us. Keep spreading the word. If you like us, you don't like us, be like, "Hi, look at these idiots. Listen to their podcast."
Exactly. We want those people.
We'll take what we can get. But yeah, until next time, wishing you all the best.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day.
Yeah.
And until next time, as always, peace, love, and
Chocolates.